Hi there. This is Bob Bennett, and it is Facebook Live for a Saturday evening on the 21st of September. If it's any date other than the 21st of September, and it's any time other than 6:30 Pacific time, then you're watching an archived copy. I'm still most appreciative of any comments that you give, even though they won't be in real time by that time. But thank you so much for tuning in, those of you who are just getting started. Okay, I'm seeing a few people here already. For those of you who are kind of veterans of tuning in, you know that I have a lot of fun and a lot of challenge in trying to both sing songs and read comments at the same time. I've got someone kind of troubleshooting technical stuff, but in terms of your comments and stuff, I may miss more than I read, but I will do my best. You know what? I got a request right off the bat, and since you are first, I'm going to put the lyric over here, although I know it pretty well, but sometimes I throw the lyrics in front of me just in case I get a little distracted. So I did get a request. This is the first request. Oh, by the way, the first request came before this live stream started, and I'm sorry I'm not able to accommodate him, but my buddy Jeff Jones asked to hear My Sharona, and really felt that would, really bring the people in. So I was so tempted to try to work it up, I just didn't have time. So that's one to put on the back burner for next time in case you might want to hear My Sharona. Solo acoustic. Oh, hey, John and Phyllis Lord are tuning in. Hello, how are you? Oh, my brother Tim is here as well. My pal Scott Morrison down in the San Diego area. And Mr. Irwin, nice to see you as well. You know what's really fun? We get a sort of a nice repeat cast of listeners that tunes in, so it almost makes it like I'm having a little digital party in my living room. I wish I had snacks, but it's so great to see people. Oh, the Johnstons in Portland. I love my Johnstons. Absolutely. All right. Well, my friend Nancy in Arkansas requested this one. I did not write this song. I wish I had. It's based on the text of a St. Patrick's breastplate, and the song is called the LORICA. I bind unto myself today the gift to call on the Trinity, the saving faith where I can say, come 3 in 1, oh 1 in 3, be above me as high as the noonday sun, be below me the rock I set my feet upon, be beside me the wind on my left and right, be behind me, or circle me with your truth and light. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. I bind unto myself today the love of angels and seraphim, the prayers and prophecies of saints, the words and deeds of righteous men. Be above me as high as the noonday sun, be below me the rock I set my feet upon, be beside me the wind on my left and right, be behind me, or circle me with your truth and light. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. God's ear to hear me, God's hand to guide me, God's might to uphold me, God's shield to hide me against all powers deceiving, against my own unbelieving, whether near or far. I bind unto myself today the hope to rise from the dust of earth, the songs of nature giving praise to Father, Spirit, living Word. Be above me as high as the noonday sun, be below me the rock I set my feet upon. Be beside me, the wind on my left and right. Be behind me, circle me with your truth and light. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. I bind unto myself today the gift to call on the Trinity. And that is the LORICA, written by my friend Gayle Salmond. Gayle is the wonderful wife and partner of my friend Roy Salmond, who produces my albums these days. They live up in Surrey, British Columbia, right outside Vancouver. And Gayle is a force of nature all on her own, and she is the one who to fashion those lyrics from the larger poem and wrote that joyful tune that you hear. I'm getting a couple comments from people who are not hearing, but I'm also thinking that no one else is really saying too much. Hi Rick, how you doing? Oh my goodness. And then and Mrs. Ricardo, I know exactly who you are. Very cool. Glad you're here. Oh, Jody, hi. She's listening. It's rainy in Chicago? Yeah, but there's Chicago pizza nearby, so it can't be that bad. So I got a couple requests, and I think they ran by me, but let me see if I can come up with something here to sing, and then I'll try to keep a little eye on what you're asking for. Okay, well, I got a request for Come and See, as I always do, and it's a real blessing. I mean, yes, James Taylor must, on one level, get tired of singing Fire and Rain every night of his life, but on the other hand, what a blessing to have a song that is that, permeable into the culture. Now, I'm not drawing the same parallel, but I'm saying in Bob Bennett land, Come and See is one of the ones that always shows up. So I'm very, very happy to do it for you. Come and see, come and see a man from heaven. Come and see, hear him speak. He has seen the face of God. Come and see, come and see. This Jesus of Nazareth, come and see the one that we have heard of all our lives. A voice crying in the wilderness, a voice from the sky loud and clear, a still small voice deep inside, and a voice still ringing in my ear, saying, follow me, and I will show you my Father. Follow me, and you will see the heavens opened wide. Come and see this man from heaven. Or could it be of God. Oh, could it be? Oh, could it be? We will see the face of God. All right, Come and See, co-written with my friend Mike Aguilar. A long, long time ago, first appeared on Matters of the Heart in 1982. I got a hello from my friend John Chan in New York, who remarked on my John Standefer shirt. Now, that's a very inside joke because my friend John Standefer, who I did an album with, by the way, called Six String Prayers, and you can get Six String Prayers at John Standefer, Standefer, Standefer. There we have it, johnstandefer.com. I did a record with John where he did most of the guitar playing and I did like 99.9% of the singing. I had him sing a couple lines because we wanted to get him in on it. But John always wears really cool Hawaiian shirts and stuff like that, and I decided to chart the end of summer here in California, or as we call it here, the end of the less warm season, because it's always great weather out here. Anyway. Oh, Charlie in Florida. He says he's going to have to DVR Dateline again so he can stay here and listen. Thank you, my friend. Very much appreciated. Well, you know, while I'm at it, let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Hang on. Hold on just 1 second. I'm doing all this with one hand here. Let me do this and this and this. This, John Standefer, by the way, has a new CD out that he just sent me, and I haven't even opened it to listen to it yet. I just got it. But it's called Guitar for the Soul. I don't know if you can see that in the shiny light. It might be too shiny. Sorry. There it is. Guitar for the Soul. And that's John Standefer. If you don't know about John Standefer, he is just an incredible guitar player. And he's a great guitar player. He is a very good composer. When he writes his own stuff, he is marvelous at it. And also, he is a consummate teacher. It's one thing to be able to play guitar. It's another thing to be able to pass that knowledge on to somebody else. So if you're interested in John's music, I think he may even still give Skype lessons. And he would be a wonderful, wonderful guy to hook up with if he's still doing that sort of work. So again, that's johnstandefer.com. He's a friend, but I'm not a paid spokesperson. So there we go with that. Let me get a little sip here before we go. This is I think you've caught on if you've been around to these. It's more of a visit than it is kind of a formal concert. I don't just sit here and kind of reel songs off one after another. I feel duty bound to chat and answer questions and do all that kind of stuff. Oh, hey, Raul, how you doing? From Phoenix. Good to see you, my brother. Hope we'll get a chance to get together and goof off another one of these days. I loved our visit. John Lawrence says, I feel silly in my living room by myself, clapping, all by myself. That is, well, you silly man, you. God love you. Okay, I got a request for your welcome here. Lord, let me try that again. Lord, I hear you knocking. You've been knocking at the door. How long have you been waiting? Seems I never really heard you before. I've kinda let the place go. I'm ashamed at what you'll find. But you can make yourself at home if you're sure that you don't mind. 'Cause when I cry, the roof leaks. And when the wind blows, the walls are weak. But a house is known by the company it keeps. And I feel better now that you're near, and I want to make it clear, Jesus, from now on, you're always welcome here. There are dark rooms deep inside me where your light has never shone, and I try to hide inside them, but I guess you've always known that one day you would call me the night awakened from my sleep, and you'd take me just the way I am, and you'd promise me you'd keep me, 'cause when I cry, the roof leaks, and when the wind blows, the walls are weak, but our house is known by the company it keeps. And I feel better now that you're near, and I want to make it clear, Jesus, from now on, you're always welcome here. Jesus, from now on, you're always welcome here. All right, you're welcome here. Well, I got a couple requests here. It's going to take me a second to click over and find it, but if you'll allow me to do just that, I will. The basic, I got on Twitter a couple mornings ago, as is my morning habit, and there was a tweet from Union Seminary, and they were highlighting the fact that in one of the chapel services that they had, that they were sort of having an eco-themed chapel service, and they had a group of plants in front of them, and were talking about. Well, let me see if I can find it rather than have me. Hold on, just 1 second here. Let me see. Oh, I'm getting some grief from my computer, which is why. There we go. Hold on, just a second here. Let's see if I can get these things to come up. There we go. Okay, so it basically let me see if I can open it in a new window, and I'll explain to you. Sorry for the hems and haws here, but I'm doing this in real time, and things are not just as fast and seamless sometimes as I wish they were. Hey, Mark Lundgren says hi. Mark Lundgren, he says my bacon buddy. He had some of the best home cured bacon I've ever eaten in my life. It was literally like a religious experience, I must say, which is kind of ironic given the non-kosher nature. Anyway, here's the tweet. Today in chapel we confessed to plants. Together we held our grief, joy, regret, hope, guilt, and sorrow in prayer, offering them to the beings who sustain us, but whose gift we too often fail to honor. What do you confess to the plants in your life? So, of course, I mean, let's put the best face on this as humanly possible, or perhaps divinely possible. That it's always a good thing to be good custodians of the earth that we live on. And you know, the idea of we'll just pollute it because it's all going to burn anyway and stuff, I think we're far enough into the 21st century now that even the most fuddy-duddy kind of Christians, which I guess I might be one, recognizes that we're supposed to care for this stuff and do the best we can with it. But when we get to the point where we're actually sort of confessing to plants and stuff, that's a little more pantheistic than is my flavor. So I'm not, anyway. So what I did is with total tongue in cheek, I wrote a plant hymn that Charlie West is asking me. So if you don't like it, it's Charlie's fault. Charlie's the one who requested it. Okay, how's that for putting you under the bus? Okay, here's my plant hymn. No music, but I confess my unbelief to my leafy brethren. I've given you such grief while you've given me oxygen. Like a prodigal come home, an errant journey I was on. Now no more to roam, I'll no longer mow my lawn. In a parched and thirsty land I've been stubborn, I suppose. Though the drought was out of hand, yet I withheld my hose. Thoughtlessly I clipped, oh, the wisdom that I lacked, the many times I slipped, the many weeds I whacked. But now I am set free, absolved in morning chapel. No offense to God, you see, I simply sinned against the apple. And that was my little plant hymn. Now, it was kind of a kick because I tagged a couple people online in it who I admire and who I follow their teachings, and Dr. Michael Brown is one of those people, and he retweeted it, so it got in front of, I'm sure, several of my little goofy plant hymn got before many more thousands of eyeballs on his Twitter feed than it did on mine. So yeah, people said, plants, seriously? Now, do your diligence and get online, and because a lot of times when you see something this goofy, a lot of times there is a good thought behind it that is just taken to the extreme. I try to always chase down the benefit of the doubt as much as I can. Now, if we're praying or repenting to plants or things like that, we've put an intermediary in where we don't need to. We go to God with those. If we've done damage, if you've dumped a bunch of toxic waste in a stream, and then God is the one you go to do business about that, not the stream itself. At least that's my take on it. That's one man's opinion. But even as silly as this sounds, and boy, they took an awful lot of grief for it, chase back to what they might be going for and fashion that into your reasonableness and your biblical worldview, and then just say, some people just take things a little too far, don't they? And anyway, all right. Let's see, I'm looking over here on my messages. Oh, somebody asked for Mountain Cathedrals. Okay. It's usually like my big closer, but I'll do it. And how appropriate after we talk about plants and nature and the mistreatment and so forth that I would sing Mountain Cathedrals. This is actually a great segue if you think about it. Or a good segue into Jesus Christ the Apple Tree. That's correct, Charlie. That's what I should have done. Oh, Ron Metcalf is saying he's now in the mountains of North Carolina. You've got Wi-Fi in the mountains of North Carolina? Wow. We really are in the 21st century. I'm grateful for that. As I've said many times before, and I won't belabor it now, but people who hear this song have much better stories than me, the guy who wrote it. So, because I'm not much of an outdoorsman, so. I've sung in mountain cathedrals with steeples rising high and altars made of evergreen and windows made of sky and windows made of sky. I've dreamed of stars in the heavens and starfish in the sea and wondered how the heart of God could care so much for me. care so much for me. Well, I've never been a strong man, at least outside the skin, and I'm eager and afraid at the same time to move from where I've been, to move from where I've been. I've sung in mountain cathedrals with steeples rising high and altars made of evergreen, windows made of sky, and windows made of sky. There we go, Mountain Cathedrals. I'm getting some tech support messages that are saying that two things might be happening. Number one, the audio is not synced up with what you're seeing on the screen. I don't know about that. And then also a little bit of freezing may be going on. Now that I don't know if that's due to slowness on your end as the signal is going out, or whether there's something between me and Facebook that's doing it. Okay, hold on just a second here. Let me get my guitar. Is anyone else, if someone on the feed that's listening, if you could check in and just let me know what you're seeing tech-wise where you are. Are things syncing up okay? Are you getting this together, or is it... Okay, so Bert says it's getting good there. Okay, other people are telling me the syncing problems are... So it may be a variable thing that's out of my control. By the way, Bert Midget, who lives in Tryon, North Carolina, is he and his wife Jo are hosting me to come and sing at a wonderful kind of a cabin performance space. It's really cool. It's called Sunnydale. And I'm going to be there on Saturday, October 12th. And if you would like more information about that, I believe there is a Facebook event page that you can find. You can go to my website, bobbennett.com. That's BOBBENNETT.com. And all the details are listed on my concerts page. And so that is going to be... I tried to fill in some other dates, and I'm happy to be coming, but that's the only place I'm going to be. So if you're in the Carolinas and you want to come see me and say hello and have snacks with me, that's part of the fun. Then I will be in Tryon, North Carolina on Saturday evening, October 12th. And there's lots of information to be had about that at my website. And so hope that you... Oh, you know what? I'm behind on my comments here, and please forgive me. I'm trying to get them. Someone asked a little bit about my guitar, and I never tire of talking about my guitar, so give me a second for that. And this is this guitar was built by my friend, like a brother to me, Kevin Ryan. Okay, let's say that you're like an Italian sports car enthusiast, or just a car enthusiast, and one of your best friends is Enzo Ferrari. Well, that's what it's like to be friends with Kevin Ryan, because in the steel string luthier world, he is like one of the main guys. You'd want to put him and Jim Olsen and John Larrivee and Bob Taylor, and you'd want to put all these guys on separate aircraft like heads of state, for security purposes. Ryan guitars are what I call playable art. It's not just that they're incredibly fine musical instruments, but they really are works of art. Kevin does this thing which now everybody, copyright infringement is the sincerest form of flattery, isn't it? Or patent infringement. Kevin does the bevel with the flutes and so forth. You're seeing that show up in some people's guitars, and that's kind of the bad news and the good news, depending on whether or not they're, doing what they should be doing. This has got, well, you can't really see on the inside. It looks great. This is the back. This is the Brazilian rosewood on the back and sides. And I'm sorry about the reflection. You're getting a great picture of my Mac laptop. Anyway, so if you would like to check out ryanguitars.com, then you simply go to ryanguitars.com. Don't forget the S, plural. And Kevin makes world-class musical instruments. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. And Kevin himself has said this is one of the best times in history to be a fine guitar maker, because this really is the golden age of great guitar making. With all due respect to the Martins and all the things of the past, I would never dispute that. But in terms of being able to walk into any well-stocked store and pick up a pretty great guitar and take it home, your chances are pretty good. Now these are more of the Rolls-Royce kind of thing. This is not like walking into your nearest Chevy dealer and driving off, but they are fine instruments, and if you're a guitar geek, you're going to want to know about them. Ooh, I'm getting a question what my favorite Mark Hurd song is. It's hard to say. There is a soft spot for Heart of Hearts, and I recorded that song. But also, I think most of the material on Victims of the Age, and the reason for that is that when Victims of the Age came out and my little Iowa Walkman was brand new, I had a cassette of Mark Hurd's album Victims of the Age, and I was walking around the floor of the Christian Booksellers Convention where all the people were doing their business and showing their wares. And I'm listening to Mark Hurd, and I'm thinking, you people are not getting it. You need to hear what this man is doing. This is what should be, being put into all the Christian bookstores and listened to on the radio. These are the kinds of songs that should be out there. So I think even more so now, his song "Dancing at the Policeman's Ball" is just absolutely prophetic. And so if you are somebody who does not know who I'm talking about, if you've, as they say, never heard of Mark Hurd, you need to rush out. Don't click away from here, but after I'm done, go find Mark and his music. Mark passed away way too young in 1994, but his songs and his albums are still out there to be enjoyed and listened to, and it's a deep well that you can still draw from all these years later. Let's put it that way. Okay, we did have a request for Redeemer. And that's a good segue from my talking about Mark, because of my, you've probably heard me say this before, but literally, we're 30 years ago now or more, I got a phone call from Derry Doherty, half of the choir, along with Steve Hindelong. And that was when they were doing their first, oh, forgive me, I'm going to mangle the name. It's like Clouds, Wind, and Fire. I forgot. It's called At the Foot of the Cross, Volume 1. And then there was a subtitle, and I'm totally mangling it like an idiot. But they were doing a version of I Know That My Redeemer Lives with Mark Hurd, and I had done a recorded version that Derry was familiar with. So he wanted me to get him the words, in part so they would have them, and I think in part so they could steer Mark to some other verses, which they did, which was an incredibly smart, artistic and production decision that they did. But so I do have a very tangential connection, Redeemer, with Mark Hurd. That my Redeemer lives. What comfort this sweet sentence gives. He lives who once was dead. He lives, my ever living head. Triumphant from the grave, he lives eternally to save. He lives my mansion to prepare. He lives to lead me safely there. And grants me daily breath. He lives and I shall conquer death. He lives and while he lives I'll sing. He lives, my prophet, priest and king. All glory to his name. He lives, my Jesus, still the same. And oh, the sweet joy this sentence gives. I know that my I know that my Redeemer lives. Amen. I know that my Redeemer lives, to the tune of Duke Street, a famous hymn that I am happy to have a tiny little asterisk footnote in the footnotes for that hymn, because a lot of people who don't know hymns heard my version. Oh, I'm saying hi to Mark Ravel, who I've not seen in a long, long time. How are you, my friend? Also, Wayne Schumann. Wayne, now, forgive me, Wayne, I'm going to massacre this. You're over in Asia, but I forget whether it's China proper or whether it's Taiwan. But you're a long ways away. And thank you so much for tuning in, my brother. You've been so nice and supportive for many, many years, and I you don't hear from me very much, but I see your name roll by on posts and things like that. So it's great that you're here as well. Okay, I got a request for a song. I'm going to pop the lyrics up here real quick. Give me 1 second, because I don't want to mess it up. And so give me 1 quick second here to pop these lyrics up in front of me, and then I will do the song. Oh, come on, please. Okay. I can't even type. Alrighty. I haven't done this for a while, but I will do it by request. This is for Brad. So we asked for the story. Brad, I have to tell you, I wish there was a more interesting story to tell you. Somehow it just, I mean, I can tell you the context that I wrote it in, but it's not, maybe that's will be enough. This song showed up on my album Songs from Bright Avenue, which, if you're familiar with my albums, was in shorthand. No one says this in front of me, but in shorthand, it's the Bob Bennett divorce album, because I was writing an awful lot of songs that were going on during that terrible, terrible time. And what was confusing to me in the middle of it is feeling like, God, you just need to kill me. I've been so bad at this, and I've hurt so many people. You just need to kill me now. And yet, pardon me, at the same time, there was hope that was happening. There was this awareness that God wasn't done with me. And so I allude to that a little bit in the song here on Bright Avenue. Pardon me. And I also alluded to it directly. Oh, hang on just 1 second, folks. Hold on just 1 minute. I have to check something here on my device. Don't ask for your money back. Hold on. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Yep, I see it. I'm sorry. I missed some things. I'm being alerted to some things that I missed. So, oh yes, David Darrow. And I know, David, I haven't been in the same room with you for a long time. David is highlighting the link to the digital tip jar. I forgot to put it in the original post so that you could just read through it and click it. So you're going to have to kind of look at the little graphic. I'll take care of that after I'm done. And those of you who have clicked over and the digital tip jar, I do appreciate that. I want to say thanks. Also, Bugsy is here. I've been alerted to the fact that Bugs is here. Bugs knows more stuff about the early days of Jesus music. As the old saying goes, he's forgotten more than most people know. He's been around behind the scenes, knows everybody. He's like the Zelig or of Jesus music and the Maranatha stuff. Bugsy just toured with everybody, knows everybody, and so I'm good man to have in your corner at all times. So thank you for tuning in, man. I know there's a lot of other cool stuff you could be doing, Bugsy. So thanks for hanging in here. Yep, I know. Yep, okay, Wayne. I figured it was Taiwan, and I knew you were formerly. His handle on eBay, I don't know if it still is. His handle on eBay was Julie Miller fan. How cool is that? What a great tribute. I don't know. There aren't any Bob Bennett fans on eBay as far as I'm aware. But so that's very cool. Oh, Neil Hagland just checked in. Hi, Neil. Good to see you, my friend. Neil is the guy who perhaps has the most fun with a Facebook timeline of anybody I know. And every time he comes up with a really fun premise, if I'm paying attention to my alerts and things like that, he'll just tag me and that's my cue. Like, okay, Bob, do you have anything to say about this? And then Mr. Big Ego goes, well, yeah, sure I do. and then I contribute some things to his list. So. Well, you know, someone is asking whether I would re-record Matters of the Heart. I probably wouldn't do a studio re-recording, but I think it would be fun to do it live. And I have just the guys. A lot of the guys who played on that record are still playing great, and it would be fun to get the old gang back together to do some of that. So maybe that's something. I don't know. I've been very skittish about remaking, although I know a lot of artists in their classic years, due to financial things and business things and whatever, a lot of times they will re-record older material that is, you know, locked in a basement somewhere with a record company, and they're never going to get it out, which describes my early work. But they'll record new albums, but it's very hard to capture lightning in a bottle the second time. Don McLean, God bless him, recorded a remake of American Pie about 25 years after the original came out. And I love that man and his work, but he just shouldn't have done it in my estimation. So I always kind of try to avoid that. And I did re-record a few things on The View From Here, but we did them real simple. and the idea was to do them very, very simply and not produce very much. So anyway, sorry. Okay, so now, Hope Like a Stranger. It was written, I got interrupted there by myself, which I do often. So this is Hope Like a Stranger, and it was just the, how crazy it felt to feel any sense of hopefulness in the middle of so much trouble that I had caused. Hope like a stranger came to my door. I was afraid, I was rude. What are you coming here for? Have you come to stay, or are you just passing through? I've seen your face, but I do not know you. And he said, you know me, but I've had to remain hidden in the shadows of your sorrow and pain. For you have lived your life as a stranger, it seems, believing your nightmares instead of your dreams. Hope like a stranger posed a question like a dare. Can you mask the mysteries of your heart, pretending not to care? You dismissed from the very heart of God was the hope you'd been given. The thing that you dismissed with your cynical facade was the hope you'd been given from the very heart of God. It drove you in secret, but you held it close at bay. You tried to disown me, but you're not made to be that way. So I stand here longing for, no matter where you run, I will wait like the father of the prodigal son. Oh, 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 said, hope by itself, it can never be an end. It's like holding paper money that's impossible to spend. Unless the value is a given, the bargain's incomplete. Then he showed me the scars on his hands and his feet. I touched his wounds as I steadied my nerve. He said, I only bear the marks of the master I serve. And he sends me here to tell you I am bound up with him. And you do well when he comes to also let him in. Hope like a stranger came to my door, but he's risen and he stays a stranger no more. Okay, sorry, kind of a B- C+ version of Hope Like a Stranger. Even with the lyrics in front of me, I didn't do so well. Oh, sorry about that. All right, let me move this back over here. And let's see. Reading comments here, folks. Don't mean to. I haven't spaced out. I'm not having some kind of a flashing light problem or something. I haven't spaced. I'm just reading comments. Let's see. Okay. You know what? Someone asked for a hand of kindness, which I'll do that. I've no need to be reminded of all my failures and my sins, for I can write my own indictment of who I am and who I've been. I know that grace by definition is something I can never earn, but for all the things that I may have missed, there's a lesson I believe that I have learned. There's a hand of kindness holding me. There's a hand of kindness holding me, holding on to me. Oh, forgiveness comes in just a moment, but sometimes the consequences last. And it's hard to walk inside that mercy when the present is so tied up to the past. In this crucible of cause and effect, I walk the wire without a net, and I wonder if I'll ever fall too far, but that day has not happened yet. There's a hand of kindness holding me, holding me. There's a hand of kindness holding me, holding on to me. And in the raven dark shines a distant light. It seems to point at me. It burns away the night. Familiar figure on horizon. moving closer now I see. His heart is shining like the sun, and he is reaching out for me. With a hand of kindness, he's holding me, holding me. There's a hand of kindness holding me, holding on to me, holding on. A hand of kindness. Amen. Thank you very much. That's the song Hand of Kindness from Small Graces. Hello to Lori and Cliff Lewis in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Give my love to Coach and tell him I asked after him. Love that man. Hope he's doing better. I know this is probably still a pretty tough season for him, but he's a good man and a strong man, and he's in my thoughts and prayers as always. Love you guys. So tell Coach I said, I love him! Okay, he'll understand that. All right. Oh, my. I'm getting so many requests that I know I'm going to disappoint some of you, so please forgive me for that. This is the joy of having so many songs and you guys being so great about it, so I'm not going to be able to get to everything, but I do want to play one for you here that hasn't been requested, so I can equal offend everyone. Oh, and someone requested Mountain Cathedrals unless I had done it earlier, and I did. I did it right at the top. So there will be a replay of this. Warts and all, as we say. There will be a replay of this on Facebook. Let me answer a quick tech question. If you get out of Facebook and then you get back in it and start over, they should restart. So that's a little bit of tech advice there for somebody who is asking me a question. Okay. There's sometimes we in the household of faith are lulled into this idea that things are going to sort of go on a straight upward arc. That as we grow in grace and knowledge and faith, and that somehow this is going to be something other than 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or 2 steps forward, 5 steps back, and 3 steps forward. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not suggesting that we should have license to be all over the map as some kind of license or purpose or whatever. I'm under grace now, I can do whatever I want. But the fact is, I think if you're doing it correctly, that sometimes being in the faith can be very difficult. And that's nothing against God or against all the promises of the Bible or whatever, but so I wrote this song about 6 years ago. 7 now, probably. And I'll play it for you right now. Let me see. Empty, vigilant, ink black night, I awaken to the same refrain. I make no claim to second sight, just a blind following the blind again. My stubborn heart always misleads, away from the little light I can see, adrift in the tide of my own misdeeds, wishing I was who I never could be. Oh, I would hear your voice, and I would follow you. I'm easily fooled most of the time, but nobody's ever gonna dig too deep. We're all in a hurry to somewhere else, with distractions and too little sleep. I got a list of questions long as my arm, and the only second chance I see to live and die without permanent harm is if God can outmaneuver me. Oh, that I were faithful. Oh, that I were true. Oh, that I would hear your voice, and I would follow you. What makes a man hunger for truth, then ignore what little he understands? He blames it on age, blames it on youth, props up a dead man with both of his hands. Only the pure in heart will see the glory of God one endless day. I pray your spirit will remember me, and the stuttering prayers I try to pray. Oh, that I were faithful. Oh, that I were true. Oh, that I would hear your voice, and I would follow you. Oh, that I were faithful. Oh, that I were true. Oh, that you would know my name, and I could be with you. I could be with you. That I were faithful. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Been seeing some of the comments roll by. Yes, you are correct, sir. I am in DADGAD. David. Also, thanks again to another David for highlighting the digital tip jar. Appreciate that. I got a request for a song that's in the same DADGAD tuning, so I'm tempted to honor that request because I'm already there. I build an altar in the field, so I'll remember back to this time when it's so real that I am loved and not alone. And if I pass by here again, I'll be able to see my life was scattered like these stones till the Lord began to gather me. I built an altar in the field, so I'll remember. I build an altar in this field in honor, in memory of the many graces I've been shown ones I've yet to see. And so I leave this symbol fashioned by my hand, the marker of a love that I will never understand. I leave an altar in the field. When I'm lost inside my sorrow, overtaken by my fear, when I am wandering in this wilderness, perhaps the Lord will lead me here to this altar in the field where I'll remember. Oh, I will remember. Pardon me. By the way, I got a comment from Denny, who I went to the UK with, and I'm sorry. You requested healings, and I'm just out of practice on that one. I'm going to have to work that one back up in order to confidently sing it for you. So I'm sorry not to be able to do that. I did play Mountain Cathedrals way early in the set. So if you join us a little late, but there will be a replay here on Facebook. And also, unless something goes horribly wrong technically, I always post it to YouTube and post a link as well. So I've not done Apple Tree. Boy, that's pretty sweet, Chris. My buddy, Pastor Chris Vanover in Nashville, said, "Thank you for altar in the field. Some of us are weary." You know, I'm feeling that a little myself these days. It's not for a lack of desire. I mean, sometimes it's a lack of desire. Weariness sort of causes that, but you know, the landscape of the church has changed, and the landscape of what they value musically has changed, and it's the natural order of our culture that when you get older, you just get less relevant to what's in the happening and in the now. And so I'm grateful for all of you, and I'm grateful that I'm still relevant to you. And that I don't take that lightly. I don't take that for granted. But it's the weariness comes in. You know, a lot of the places that I used to go and partner with and have, you know, just moved on to other things and other people, and sometimes I can be a little wearying. But my job now, as much as music, my job involves trying to find the small band of people who are still interested in these things, so I can go out and still do them. And so I'm not crying in my root beer here, but yeah, I'm a little weary too. But I you know, the only way I know how to combat that is to you know, put a guitar in my hand and you know, I have a song in my song Singing from My Life. Sometimes when I stand up to play, I am a lonely and desperate man. These songs are the only prayers I can pray, and I sing them just as hard as I can. I realize quoting myself is very egotistical, but I just did. But that's, you know, sometimes singing these songs, this is as close as I get to being a faithful man that day. And I'm not proud of that fact, but I'm just being straight with you that sometimes that's the order of the day. So if oh, I just dropped my capo on the ground. Hold on just a second. Well, I got another one here. Okay, I got a request from my dear pal Lori to sing Jesus Christ the Apple Tree. I first heard this on a classical music album, gosh, 35 years ago, if not longer. and fell in love with it. It's if you analyze the lyric, it's not really a particularly Christmassy song, but somehow it has gotten into the Christmas canon of classical music, and we're all the better for it. So it's a very unusual carol that I've loved all these years, and I loved it so much I've recorded it twice. My soul had seen, laden with fruit and always green. The tree of life my soul had seen, laden with fruit and always green. The trees of nature fruitless be, compared with Christ the apple tree. His beauty doth all things excel. By faith I know, but ne'er can tell. His beauty doth all things excel. By faith I know, but ne'er can tell. The glory which I now can see, 'tis found in Christ the apple tree. For happiness I long have sought, countless pleasures I have bought. For happiness I long have sought, and many pleasures I have bought. I missed of all, but now I see, 'tis found in Christ the apple tree. This fruit doth make my soul to thrive. It keeps my dying faith alive. This fruit doth make my soul to thrive, and keeps my dying soul alive, and makes my soul in haste to be with Jesus Christ the apple tree, which makes my soul in haste to be with Jesus Christ the apple tree. All right, Jesus Christ the apple tree. The words anonymous from the mid, 17th century. The musical setting, which I adapted, was written by Elizabeth Poston in the mid-1940s. And a couple little lyrical squabbles there, but it was pretty close. So thank you so much. Hey, Andy and Juanita in Chicagoland. Good to see you. We should have a standing date to find the lyrics Lou Malnati's or Numero Uno, whatever your choice is. I'm good. And next time I'm in town. Somebody asked me about my guitar again. I did do a little bit on this earlier in the live stream. So, but just to let you know, since you asked, this is a Kevin Ryan guitar. If you go to ryanguitarsplural.com, ryanguitars.com, you can find out about him and his world-class instruments. I am a very fortunate man. You remember that scene in the movie As Good as It Gets? Oh, I'm forgetting the name of the actress now. Oh, I know her so well, and I can picture her in my mind. But Jack Nicholson is sitting across from the actress, and I can't remember her name now, doggone it. And he says, "You make me want to be a better man." And that's what it's like when you have a Ryan guitar in your hands. You just want to be a better player. Oh, John, I know. I've got it down on my to-do list in big letters. I know. I'm an idiot. Sorry, pal. I'm answering some private questions, so I don't... Sorry, I didn't mean to call myself an idiot for no reason. If you knew the question I was answering, you'd kind of go, yeah, he's kind of an idiot. So... hold on just a minute here. Helen Hunt. That's right. Correct. Thank you. Love her. Is she doing... I don't know what she's doing these days. Always love the stuff she was in, though. Okay, now that's service. My friend Lori Lewis posted the lyrics to Jesus Christ the Apple Tree. Not soon enough for me to, to get them correct, but man, that's good. Yeah, and there were a couple verses that I did not put in. I think the weary with the former toil. Yeah, I didn't leave that, put that verse in. There's nothing wrong with that verse. I just wanted to limit it to 4. So, let me see. Okay, I'm going to call up one more song here that is being requested, but I'm going to put a lyric sheet in front of me just in case. So give me 1 second to do that so that I can get it right. And I will attempt to get it right. Someone asked for the song Together All Alone. There's no particular story behind this song. All the people in the story are made up. Although, if you've been a teenager, you'll recognize some of these things. If you live in a flawed family, as we all do, you'll recognize some of these things. But so this was on my second album, Matters of the Heart, and it's called Together All Alone. Brian's on the football team, but he's only second string. He's got a locker full of books, but he doesn't know a thing. He never says what's on his mind, like his daddy to the bone. And he's living with the rest of us, together all alone. Together all alone. His girlfriend moved away last year to another school in town. She's got a brand new boyfriend, but she sometimes comes around. She bounces his heart like a basketball, and when his folks are not at home, she slaps his hand as they lay on the couch, together all alone. Together all alone. And is full of crazy, nights full of sleep. Bryan is in school all day. The old man drives a truck. He says it's a hell of a way to live, but it's a way to make a buck. He rolls home after the house is dark, his heart as cold as a stone, and he lies back to back with his wife in the sack, together all alone, together all alone, and far away, a shepherd tends his sheep. Together all alone. Together. Sorry. Together all alone. From Matters of the Heart. Lori, I was just kidding you, kiddo. No worries. I wasn't trying to dog you. Just having a little fun here. Isn't that really, and this even in our time, I know I've spoken about this before, so I won't gas on about it again in detail, but I find it heartbreaking that in this culture where we have the potential to be more closely connected than we ever have, to even more, I think, in my lifetime, we are more together all alone than we have ever been. We are more isolated in the middle of crowds and families and churches, and there's a part of us. And I think this is the part that the enemy of our souls wants to just trample all over. Is that part of us that has trouble making connections or needs connection, and sometimes we're our own worst enemies. Sometimes we have trouble reaching out, and then that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of people not reaching out to us. That I'm very guilty of that. But together all alone is a phenomenon of our society that. Is still present with us, and I just so I think my sage spiritual advice on this subject is try to hunt up some people who you haven't said hello to for a while and find out how they're doing. And when you ask them how they're doing, be ready for any answer that they give, not just the I've got to go with my coffee answer, but ask them how they're doing and listen. And sometimes the way out of your own heartbreak and your own sorrows are putting your time and attention to other people. If only I were as adept at attending to my own needs as I sometimes can be attending to the needs of others. I believe I let people down on a regular basis. It comes with my temperament and my the equipment I have here. But anyway. Lori, Coach is such a good guy. Steve, he's like, watch your posture. Yep. Okay, that's great. I love that man. All right. Yeah, that's a good point. I know that comment can cut both ways, Rick. Rick said maybe that's why they're trying to connect with plants, and the ludicrous nature of that is one thing, and I made plenty of fun of that. But at the root of that, I think at the root of a lot of this nonsense is just a real loneliness and inability to feel connected. And now in our day, we refuse to even attempt to be connected with people who are different than us, people that don't believe the same way or go the same route. Now I know that there are certain things. I mean, I can't, I'm not, I'm not going to, be singing at the next Antifa dinner. Okay. That's not going to happen. They'd have me for lunch, literally. But what I'm saying is we allow ourselves a much smaller circle of people to be close to. And I've found that as I've aged, that's happened. I spend a lot more time in isolation or with an extremely small cast of characters than I ever did when I was coming up. And I think that's actually kind of normal once you get into the classic years, as we boomers call them, because boomers don't get old, they get classic, right? Okay. Lynn's advice, go vegan. Okay. All right. When they do that, I always think, well, more meat left for me, but I would never. These are very personal decisions. And, I was having a discussion with a friend of mine the other day about this, that I realized that the Bible gives us guidance for things, and there are certain things where you really, really have to try real hard to make it say something different than what it plainly says. But I think there are other things where we definitely have some leeway. I don't think the Bible, from my reading, from what little bit I know of it, the Bible does not prescribe a particular type of here's the diet from God and here's the diet that's not. At least not in these times. Perhaps in older covenant times, that might have been the order of the day. And then there's a big argument about whether or not we're still to keep those laws and all that stuff, and we'll beat each other up over that. But so if someone wants to go vegan, they need to do it. If someone wants to go on a protein diet and whatever, the research is kind of showing now that if you just do something and stick to it, that you're ahead of the game. Perhaps our Achilles heel, and I've had a lifelong of trouble with this, is the amount of choice that we have and the amount of celebration stuff that we do over food. I mean, there's just no doubt about the fact that eclairs are great. I'm sorry. Anyway, all right, enough of that. That's right. My food eats your food. Okay, I got to stop reading the comments here. Oh, you don't want me to go all Neil Young on you? Okay. No, you don't want me to go all Neil Young on you? Is that it? Sailing hardships through broken harbors, out on the waves in the night. Okay, I won't go all Neil Young on you. All right. Let me see. Oh, I had one other one here I wanted to do. Let me call up. I don't think I've done this one live, Facebook Live. Oh! I have a word that Jan Hopkins is on the line. Hey, I know Mr. Jan Hopkins. He's a good friend of mine. And Jan, if you're still around, good that you're dropping by, sweetheart. You give a big hug and kiss to Chris for me and tell him I love that man, and I love you too. And it's been way too stinking long since we've been in the same room together. So maybe we can remedy that. This is a song that I wrote many years ago. I attend a traditional Anglican church, which in the U.S., Anglican means kind of like how the Episcopal Church used to look like maybe 30 or 40 years ago. Very traditional. And very traditional liturgy and all that. But in the liturgical churches, as you're well aware, whether they be Catholic or, and what little bit I know, Eastern Orthodox and so forth, at some point in the culmination of a service, of a gathering, is the Lord's table. And I wrote a song about that for my church. And even though not everybody takes communion in the same way and the same form, I think it's more about taking part in the meal, in the body and blood of Christ, than it is the format. But don't get me in trouble with that now, you strict people. So this is called a communion rail. Iron and marble, wood and stone, craftsman's chisel, hammer and nail, all the straight lines form our gathering place at the altar of God, at the communion rail. And the powerful and common, we all come alike, with our faith so weak and our souls so frail, to dine upon the promises of Christ the Lamb, kept safe for his sheep at the communion rail. I can't help but watch this blessed parade of strangers and neighbors. We all fall and fail, and we come to have our lives made new again, and to return our thanks at the communion rail. And a great cloud of witnesses surrounds us out of time. We will follow their footsteps beyond this earthly veil. We will all join together at the supper of the Lamb, and we glimpse that shining time at the communion rail. We glimpse that shining time now at the communion rail. That's the communion rail from the view from here. Some folks are asking when I'm going to be where, San Diego, different places. Yeah, so, unless unless I'm invited by a church, I don't wind up in places on a regular basis in the same way that I used to. But let me take a sip and answer your question. I do a lot of house concerts and a lot of private concerts. So it might be as simple as you partnering together with 2 or 3 families and getting the rec room at your apartment complex and renting it for the evening and having me come and sing for you, or having me come and sing and, find somebody that you're friendly with, that you're family enough with, that you can say, hey, you really have a big house. Would you host a Bob Bennett concert? And I'll come and sing for you. Yeah, there's some cost involved. I'm a working man. But I try to make it reachable by families. I know that we're not talking big budgets, and it's not the 1980s anymore. So I'm wheeling and dealing, as they say. I'm very happy. I try not to say no to anything. Sometimes every once in a while that happens, but I say yes as often as I possibly can. So. Yep, I already did come and see as well. I'm getting some requests for things that I've already been. So I did get. Somebody wants me to finish the Neil Young song. Let me see if I can. Okay, I haven't done it for a while. Sailing hardships through broken harbors, out on the waves in the night. Still the searcher must ride the dark horse, racing alone in his fright. Tell me why. Tell me why. Is it hard to make arrangements with yourself when you're old enough to repay but young enough to sell? Tell me lies later, come and see me, I'll be around for a while. I am lonely, but you can free me. makes you smile. Tell me why. Tell me why. Is it hard to make arrangements with yourself when you're old enough to repay but young enough to say? A little bit of Neil for you. You know, okay, I might be tempted. I could be tempted and talked into, hang on just a second, to doing one more little thing. Let me find them. I know I have them in a folder here. Give me just a second. Sorry. This is not the most fascinating part of the broadcast or the live stream. Let's see. Oh, Bennett, come on. Where are they? Okay, I'll find them. My computer's running a little slow because I think it's online and doing all kinds of stuff, so. All right, hold on just one second. Oh, okay. Are you still? I'm getting alert that there may be a blank screen. Can somebody kind of check in and let me know at 8:07 p.m. whether I'm still with you or not? Just kind of put 8:07 p.m. and say yes, I can see you. If not, I might not be on anymore. It says I'm still on, but oh, I know. I already did Mountain Cathedrals. Am I still on? Pardon me. Okay, good, David. Thank you so much. What I want to do is I want to give you a preview. I'm not going to do the whole thing because I'm saving it for Christmas. But what I did is I wrote a series of Neil Young Christmas carols because I want to help Neil out. And I know that he's got, I know he's busy. So I'm going to sing a Neil Young Christmas carol as a down payment. So here it is from Neil Young's forthcoming, and I say this, oh gosh, please just don't any lawyers get mad at me, okay? Come on, I'm having a little fun here. Tell everyone in Jerusalem there is a baby born in Bethlehem. 3 wise men bearing gifts they are sharing. Lots of frankincense, myrrh, and gold. At least that's what I'm told. Led by a bright star in the east, they came across the desert, man and beast, to meet a stranger, babe in a manger, to give him frankincense, myrrh, and gold, as had been foretold. Lots of frankincense, myrrh, and gold, born of a virgin mother as foretold. They gave him frankincense, myrrh, and gold. He was a miner with a lot of gold. There we go. That's one of the 5 or 6 tunes that I have written for my Neil Young Christmas album. My hope is I want to get them to Jimmy Fallon. That's been my thing. I always say that in case someone goes, I play miniature golf with Jimmy Fallon. I'll call him right now. I always say it, but it never happens. Okay, let's take a few seconds. I know I've been talking a lot. Any questions that you might have? We have a little bit of a delay between the feed and what I am getting from you. But anybody have any questions that you'd like addressed, or anything, any stories about songs, or I know everybody always asks me, when's the new album coming? I don't know. I don't know. I don't have enough songs yet, and I don't know. I'm hopefully, and I'm supposed to be releasing songs a little bit at a time now and doing EPs like all the kids, and I'm just a complete goofball for not doing it. But anyway, where did I get this Hawaiian shirt? My son Paul bought this for me. It's really great. He got it at, I think he got it at DXL, which is like a big man store, you know. So this has enough X's in it that I can wear it. But yeah, that's where I got it. What position did I play in Little League? I played shortstop. No, not a shortstop. What am I saying? Where did that come from? Talk about inattention. I played right field, because right field is the damage control position for Little League. When you have a kid who doesn't know what he's doing, he could wear 2 mitts and he couldn't catch the ball. That was me. You put him in right field. And so that's where I was. Let's see. Play a new song. I could. Oh, okay. I'm having a suggestion that I should. I do have a YouTube channel, and I'm embarrassed that I don't know how to tell you where to find it. But if you go to YouTube and you click on, if you put in Bob Bennett Facebook Live, you'll find past episodes that I've done of this, and then you can click on that and subscribe to me and my Facebook channel in that screen. I do know that. I should have that at the ready, but you can find that by clicking on any of the videos that I've posted and find my way to my channel. So don't have anything planned with Judson. We were maybe looking at doing something at Christmas again, but that may be put off for another bit. And I think we were going to, Dr. Anderson and I were talking about trying to collaborate on some material, that I might write some new lyrics for some vocal pieces that we would do at Christmas at Judson. That's not going to happen this year. Not sure if it's going to happen. I'm not sure. But that's going to be will I ever be touring with Michael Card again? I would love to say yes. I would love to say yes. I love Michael. I love what he does. Haven't got that call as yet, but but I love that man. Will always love that man. Okay, sorry, had a little cough there. Yes, CDs can be purchased on the website, and some of them are out of print. You can only find digital copies of First Things First, or no, I'm sorry. You can only find digital copies of Matters of the Heart, of nonfiction. You can buy CDs from me of First Things First, The View from Here, Small Graces, Christmas Tide, Joy Deepest Sorrow, and Live at Judson University. You can find all those on my website. It's free shipping, and I'll autograph anything you'd like. You can't have me put anything really. Some people have, over the years, I've had to revise what they've asked me to write because I couldn't write what they asked me to write. But I'll, generally speaking, will follow your instructions to the letter. Anyway. Tim, I'm really sorry. I had a request also from Denny, and I just haven't played Healings in a while. I really have to relearn a couple of my own songs, and that's one of them. So there's nothing wrong with the song. I just haven't played it in so long. Brandon from Canada. Hi, Brandon. I wish I was there with you, having coffee and Timbits and hanging out. I speak a little Canadian. I love Canada. I love going there. I've got beautiful, wonderful friends in Canada. And my observation is, unless you're at a hockey game, Canadians may be the most civilized people on the planet. Anywhere around a hockey arena, beware. But But that's been my experience anyway. But maybe they're just nice to the Yanks. You know, maybe when we get on the plane and go home, they go, "Man, I'm glad that's over." You know, who knows? All right, let me call this up. I did have a person who wants to hear another little tune, and I'm just for the sake of getting it right, if you'll forgive me while I'm doing computer stuff while we're visiting. Oh man, I'm like 15 minutes past my hour and a half, but I don't care. As long as you'll hang with me, I will do stuff. So I'm in that kind of a mood tonight. So let me put this over here. This is a song called Small Graces. It was on the album of the same name. And I did get some requests for that, so I will play it. Sometimes they slip by without notice. Sometimes they're very hard to see. Other times it's also clear when they're happening to me. Bright penny on the sidewalk can't buy nothing by itself. When I hold it in my hands, it's a tiny piece of priceless wealth. These are the small graces, the little moments when the miracles come. These are the small graces, small graces leading me to the larger ones. Smile that is not automatic, that lingers on a little more than the time it takes to count my change, the time it takes to close the drawer. These are the small graces, the little moments when the miracles come. These are the small graces, small graces leading me to the larger ones. Small graces surely have a meaning beyond their merely passing by. They are a reminder to the heart there's a more to life than meets the eye. More to life than meets the eye. Oh, cheerful greetings unexpected, shared by strangers on the run. When the sky is clouded over, still the promise of the sun is in the small graces. The small graces, small graces leading me to the larger ones. Small graces, little glimpses of the kingdom come from unexpected places. These are the small graces. Small graces. I mostly got it, I think. Okay, I got a request for, oh man, did I drop both my capos? No. Let's see, I haven't done this one for a while. Let me see if I can do it. Okay, I'm reading some comments that I missed. My friend Mark Smuts, who toured with me and Bruce Carroll and Billy Sprague a lifetime ago, is checking in from Mexico, somewhere in Mexico. If you're still with us, I have to say, Smuts! Okay. That was our official greeting on the entire tour. Every time we would see Mark coming, no matter how far or how close, we would say, Smuts! Okay. Just as irritating. It was just as irritating then as it is right now, isn't it? Don't you hate it when you're not in on the joke too? It's like, I know. Please don't click away. I promise I'll sing. Cold and windy on these streets tonight. Lines are forming now. Meals to be eaten, beds to find. Hearts are warming now. Love is given and love is received. A candle in the darkness, because someone has believed what Jesus said. Unto the least of these, what you do for them, you also do for me. You must give of what you have to become what you must be. You must give your love unto the least of these. It's cold in... I just got a comment that made me totally off. It's warm inside the safe suburban home, but souls are dying now. Okay, I gotta stop. I gotta stop and correct myself. I'm a little tired, and what it is I was telling a story about Mark Schmidt, and we would say Schmidt, but Mark Smuts is a friend of my son and a family friend, but we have a tendency also to do Smuts. So between Mark Schmidt and Mark Smuts, it's the same joke spread out over two different time zones and families and all that. So I got a text advising me that I had totally screwed up. So, all right. So, now on to the second verse. Pretend that none of that happened, and that poignant, unto the least of these first half is now connecting up with this. It's warm inside the safe suburban home. Souls are dying now. The sound of words unspoken drowning out the sounds of crying now. Love withheld is a love that disappears. They do not care because they cannot hear what Jesus said unto the least of these, what you do for them, you also do for me. You must give of what you have to become what you must be. You must give your love unto the least of these. Hungry mouths to feed, thirsty souls in need, the naked clothed again, the sick in their distress, the prisoners of loneliness, the strangers welcomed in. Jesus said unto the least of these, what you do for them, you also do for me. You must give of who you are to become what you must be. You must give your love unto the least of these. You must give your love unto the least of these. All right, a two-part version of Unto the Least of These with a correction about two different Marks. Mark Schmidt in Mexico, Mark Smuts in Southern California. Both beloved men who I confused in my confusion. But then confusion normally occurs in... Okay, enough of that. Anyway, and I'm going to post this unedited. That's the kind of man I am. This is live, folks. This is what happens when you interact live. So this is fun. Really, really appreciate you guys hanging around. Let's see. Well, someone requested Falling Stars, and I haven't played that in a long time. Let me see if I can do it. Hang on just 1 second. Let me see. Okay, let's see if I can do it. After I've confused friends and stopped a song and all that, what else can I do? How else can I mess up? I've done the pinnacle of messing up. So now I feel really relaxed. Pardon me. Please pardon me. That sounds so gross. I'm not even sick. I just, just an old dude now. Oh, man. Okay. So this is from my second album. Let's see how it goes, eh? Turned up like a paper cup catching falling stars, and the lines on the highway are dancing in a row for passing cars. People living out another day behind the wheel, out of control, sick to the soul, like falling stars. The lights are burning on the street tonight, like the world's on fire. Take a number at the gallows and string yourself up by your own desires. Countless patrons try to ride their dreams like a Ferris wheel, but it's out of control, sick to its circular soul, like falling stars. time is coming when the heavens will fall into the street, and falling stars will finally meet. The game is over, there are no more chances upon the wheel. It's out of control as you watch your soul, watch your soul go down like falling stars, like falling stars. Okay, a couple licks missing in action there, but mostly done. Okay, so that's good. Hang on just one second here. Oh, that's very funny. When I was a little verklempt during the last song, John Chan, does the noise inside my head bother you? That's very funny. Let's see. Okay, so I did do Falling Stars for Wayne. And let's see. Some of the comments are not moving here, so hold on just a minute. I'm now checking comments. Please pardon me while I check comments. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. And, okay, somebody asked for Lord of the Past. I will do that. Hey, okay, my friend John Lord just alerted me to the fact that Jim and Kathy Earp have checked in. I don't know if they're still here or not. Jim is one of the most wonderful guitar players. He's one of those guys. He just does way too much with the guitar. And I love being in the same room with him, and I love hearing him play. I just am not totally enamored with the fact that I can't play as well all the time as he does, because he just tears it up. But it's a blessing. Honestly, I say that with a big smile. He's a wonderful guy and a wonderful player. Oh, hi, Kathy. Kathy's there. And Mr. Earp sends me hilarious emails. I laugh at least every Tuesday and Thursday. I laugh a lot at the emails of my friend Jim Earp. Okay, so Lord of the Past, that's what it was. Someone asked for that. I want to say this tonight just in case it might be helpful to someone who's listening. And if you've heard me play this song, you may well have heard me comment in this direction before, so please forgive the repetition. But, and this still play, even though I'm the guy that wrote this song, all this stuff plays out in my life all the time still. As a Christian, as a man who's trying to be as serious as I know how to be about the faith, and then sometimes I'm not. Anyway, all the disclaimers that you would expect from me, but I would still consider myself to be a Christian, and I hope that Jesus does too. But there's a difference between forgiveness and consequences, and sometimes the mistakes of our past bear their horrible, thorny fruit long into the new timeline in Christ Jesus. And in fact, for me, as I've said many times before, all of the really world-class horrible stuff that I have done or failed to do happened after I was 22 years old, and the Spirit of God was presumably living inside of me, and that I was, on the way to becoming more like Jesus. But nonetheless, some of the things on the, not on the highlights reel, but on the lowlights reel of my life happened after I was 22 years old up to perhaps this very moment. Who knows? So what that means is that I appreciate all of the brethren who say to me and want me to understand that I'm not to to be a victim on my business card, and I'm not to wallow to the exclusion of trying to like live life properly or be faithful or whatever. So there's a balance here. But there are people who have very little patience. They say, don't look back. Don't ever look back. It's all forgiven. It's all done. It's all washed in the blood. But the fact is, we live out in lives of consequences, and we live out a timeline. And sometimes things that we have done and things that were done to us, they still hurt. We still have sorrows. It's just, it's a sealed deal, but it's not a done deal. Is that fair to say? That's how I would say it. Oh, wow. Someone has told me, I presume they're saying that they've got kids. Jack and Starla are sitting here with their own guitars pretending to play and sing. Hi, Jack and Starla. You sing right along. Is that Starla, Portland Starla? I hope it is. I remember her. What a doll. You were great. That was such a fun night. I'll never forget meeting her. If I've got the right Starla, I did good. Anyway. All right, Lord of the Past. Anyway, I hope all of that to say, whether you think I'm a theological nutcase or whatever, I pray this song is a blessing. Every harsh word spoken, every promise ever broken to me, total recall of data in the memory. Every tear that has washed my face, every moment of disgrace that I have known, every time I've ever felt alone. Lord of the here and now, Lord of the come what may, I want to believe somehow that you can heal these wounds of yesterday. So now I'm asking you to do what you want to do, be the Lord of the past. Oh, how I want you to be the Lord of the past. All the chances I let slip by, all the dreams that I let die in vain, afraid of failure and afraid of pain. Every tear that has washed my face, every moment of disgrace that I have known, every time I've ever felt alone. Lord of the here and now, Lord of the come what may. Oh, I want to believe somehow you can redeem these things so far away. So now I'm asking you to do what you want to do, be the Lord of my past. Oh, how I want you to be the Lord of the past. Well, I picked up all these pieces and I built a strong deception, and I locked myself inside of it for my own protection. And I sit alone inside myself to curse my company for this thing that has kept me alive for so long is now killing me. And as sure as the sun rose this morning, the man in the moon hides his face tonight. And I lay myself down on my bed, and I pray this prayer inside my head. Lord of the here and now, Lord of the come what may. Oh, I want to believe somehow that you can heal these wounds of yesterday. So now I'm asking you past. All right. I hope. Aside from those of you who've heard this song before and we're happy to hear it again, I hope that it maybe spoke to someone in the present tense this night. Boy, I'll tell you, I'm 64 years old now, and I've been a Christian for 42 years. And I'm still amazed at how ambushed I can still be from time to time with my own foibles and follies and damage that I've done. There are times where my emotions or my recall of a memory can take me from 0 to 60 in the wrong direction. Just that fast. And so I don't mean to make it sound like my entire life is hanging from a thread, but there are certainly times where it feels like that, and I have to try to tell myself that the feeling is real, but the reality is not as real. The reality of it, that if I can just hang on and be as faithful as I can, and that the Lord will outmaneuver me and carry me to the end, and that's what I want. That's the end game that I'm looking for. But of course, I would love to sometimes be a happier fellow, to be a little more positive, to be a better witness, perhaps, just in my demeanor toward people. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm not the best gauge of my own witness in these things, but I wish that, in other words, I wish that I could be this guy a lot more than I am just when the audience is there and the camera's on and I've got a guitar in my hand. I wish that the guy that I was without the guitar in my hand was as reliable and helpful as the guy with the guitar in his hand. So oh, cool. We have some people that have been here for a long time. Good. Well, I'm into 2 hours and 15 minutes now. I almost feel like it's a gauntlet that I'm running. I mean, in other words, I'm kind of feeling the challenge of, can I do 15 more minutes? I don't know. I don't have anything else going. I feel like I've done enough talking and screwed up enough songs that I kind of owe it to you to stick around a little bit until I put a few good songs in a row without making a mistake. Let me grab something here. Hold on just a second. I'm going to save that for the last. I will do. Somebody asked for a new song, and I'd like to do this. Although I've played it, I might have even played this the last couple times that I've done Facebook Live, but we're not. Do I put up the lyrics? Do I? Maybe I do. Hold on. Maybe I do, just to make sure. Just to make sure that I don't goof up. All it takes is a little bit of typing, and I will have a cheat sheet in front of me. And I do. Okay. And I'm sure he's not seeing this, and that's fine. I'm not saying that as a dig or anything. I'm just saying the fact is he's probably not seeing this, but I'm going to send him a link to it. I'm going to sing this for Bryan Duncan because Bryan lost his mom in the last couple of days. And it's not that when a well-known celebrity person loses a mom, it's different than you losing a mom. I trust you understand where I'm going here. But it's my chance to sort of do something here for Bryan, as a nod to Bryan and to the memory of his beloved mother. my own. Someday my buried bones will rise to an everlasting day. In the company of all redeemed from the fall, I will rise to an everlasting day. Though the charms of the night are beautiful, all right, the moon and the stars up above, there will come a blessed day that will never pass away, when God will light creation with his love. Through no goodness of my own, someday my buried bones will rise to an everlasting day. In the company of all redeemed from the fall, I will rise to an everlasting day. I don't know if I can see myself chosen to be marching with the saints to my reward. I expect I will bow down low upon the ground till I hear different from the Lord. Through no goodness of my own, someday my buried bones will rise to an everlasting day. In the company of all redeemed from the fall, I will rise to an everlasting day. Whether absent from the body, seeing God face to face, or resting till the resurrection day, all I know is that Jesus is preparing a place where I will come home to stay. And the four living creatures cry out night and day. Around the throne of God they always say, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty, who was and is to come. Through no goodness of my own, someday my buried bones will rise to an everlasting day. In the company of all redeemed from the fall, I will rise to an everlasting day. I will rise to an everlasting day. I will rise to an everlasting day. All right. For us all who have the hope of the gospel and the hope of resurrection, and also for those of you this night who may have lost someone recently, or the pain of that loss is still close at hand, and especially for my friend Bryan Duncan. I love you, my friend. You've done so much good and blessed so many people. I hope that little 3 minutes was a blessing to you, from one fan to one Bryan Duncan. Thank you, my friend. All right. Let's see. Let me pull the comments back here and let's see what's going on. Yeah, I've been at it for a while, so some of these requests are coming on for those of you that have come in a little later. And by a little, I started at 6:30 Pacific time, so I'm into the third hour now. I don't know that I'll make it all the way through it, but I'm into the third hour. I should do, for charity sometime. I should do like a Bob Sing-a-thon or something, and see if I can take a day, and I'd have to take what we call euphemistically comfort breaks, but to get myself really geared up and see if I could start at the first album and see how many songs I can get through, to the latest music, and do it for charity or something. That might be kind of fun. Very self-centric, of course, but fun. A Bobathon. I know. The minute it came out of my mouth, I knew it was wrong. Asking, is there any one song that I'm tired of playing? Not really. I don't really. Wayne, you may or may not be aware of the fact that I'm not a fan of my own song "Whistling in the Dark," but that has more to do with my attitude and how I wrote the song than any particular thing in the song. Although I explain on the commentary tracks on First Things First why I was such a young, stubborn guy, and prideful and all that, and I wrote some of that pride, misplaced pride, into Whistling in the Dark. So I don't play that one. And I've thought about, do I rewrite it to try to reclaim it? Do I take that song literally some 40 years down the line now and try to fix it? I mean, it's my song. It's not scripture. I can do whatever I want. Pardon me. Oh, you know what? I haven't played My Secret Heart for a while. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to. I goofed around the other day, but I don't know that I could get all the way through it. Yeah, I'm afraid I'd mess it up. I'll write it down, and the next time I live stream, I'll try to do My Secret Heart for you, Wayne. Even if you're not there, I'll try to do it. It's a perfectly fine song. I just haven't played it in a while. But I haven't played Matters of the Heart for a while either. Last time I did it, it was not my best version. Should I try to do it? Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna give myself the edge because I'm distracted. I'm so pleasantly and wonderfully distracted with all of the comments, and really the comments are part of the fun of doing this. That I've been calling up cheat sheets all night long to make sure that I can try to get through some of that, and even that hasn't helped in some cases. But I refuse to not look at the comments because, well, it's very selfish. I'm having fun. Yes, I've already done Mountain Cathedrals at the beginning part. You'll be able to catch that on the replay. I've also done it on a couple past Facebook Lives. So haven't done Song About Baseball yet. May do that. By the way, we're all friends here. So when you get he already played it, it's not being said like, he already played it. It's being said with, yeah, he already played it. We're not being snarky here. Just that some people are checking in from the beginning. Some people maybe are clicking in just now. I've been at this for a couple hours. For those of you who are, I always worry. I wonder, I think, if I'm correct, that Facebook Live things actually show up in a general, here's who's live on Facebook menu that people can click into. Because, and the reason I say that is that when these things are up for a couple days, you look and it's like, I've gotten 2,500 hits or something. And I don't know if that's so. Because I don't know if Facebook knows how to draw a distinction between 5 seconds and 2.5 hours of click. Who knows? I'm happy for those numbers. They're great stats. But I'm also aware of the fact that a lot of the people who are clicking in have no earthly idea who I am or what I do. They just see some old middle-aged dude playing guitar, and they, like you, if they don't know me, they figure out in the first 15, 20 seconds whether or not this is worth paying attention to. So if you're one of those people who doesn't know me, hi. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you'll stick around for a minute. I got to get another drink of water in my throat. Sorry. All right. So in 1982, I recorded an album called Matters of the Heart. And this is the title song to that record. Babies smiling for an unknown reason, birds singing in the dead of night, hand reaching out for another one, breeze catching a falling kite. Sigh at the end of a working day, sun sinking down in the ocean, love letters from far away, rain dancing in motion. Plot my life on a flowchart. Show me your sales curve. things that numbers can't measure. There's just some things that numbers can't measure. There's just some things that numbers can't measure. In matters of the heart. Matters of the heart. Matters of the heart. Eyes laughing in the face of disaster. Voices pleading on the telephone line. The spark of truth that catches on fire. Your first taste of the new wine. Light shining in this heart of darkness. The new beginning and a miracle. Day by day the integration. The concrete and the spiritual. Show me the sales curves. Plot my life on a flow chart. You can count up your converts. Miss where it all starts. Oh, you can show me the sales curves. But there's just some things that numbers can't measure. These fragile pieces of priceless treasure. There's just some things that numbers can't measure. In matters of the heart. Matters of the heart. Oh, matters of the heart. These matters of the heart. All right. Matters of the Heart as best I can from memory. Not totally from memory. I had cheat sheets, but the chords. This is the one. I got to practice on that one. That's a tougher chord on this guitar thing. That's the chord I need to bone up on. But you guitar players already knew that, didn't you? Okay. Let's see here. All right, we got other comments coming. Let me check. Plus, it gives me comments give me a little bit of break. Oh, someone's asking for my favorite VeggieTales tune. I'm not from. I don't know if this makes me not a Christian, but I'm not familiar enough with VeggieTales to know all those songs well enough to have. I mean, there was a Bob the Tomato character, so I would imagine anything that he sang I would be partial to, just going in. I'll tell you what. We're up on 9 o'clock. I'm going to sing a final song and then say goodnight. Thank you, all of you, who have come and watched. The replay of this should post immediately. I'm also going to work on compressing a version of it to YouTube and getting that up. And then what I do is I go through and I actually make a roadmap of all the talking and the songs and all that. So on YouTube, and I'll post that here on Facebook as well. So if you don't want to slog your way all the way through the entire 2.5 hours, you can pinpoint some of the things that you want to hear about, speaking-wise or song-wise. I want to remind you again that I do house concerts. I do private house concerts. All we got to do is figure out a way to get me into your area, and I can come and sing at your house or the house of a family member or friend. This is doable. It is not going to put your house note in jeopardy. I try to be very responsive to the fact that I'm working with families. I still do concerts in churches. I still play in coffee houses. I still play in Bible studies whenever I'm asked. Again, I can count the times on one hand I think I've said no in the last 25 years where I couldn't do something. but most of the time we can figure out a way to get it done. So yes, I love doing this. I love reaching all of you at once and having this kind of this virtual community like this. It's great to see so many of these names rolling by and to read a lot of your encouragement. But I really love to get in the same room and sing for you. And if you've got a way that you think that can happen or some ideas for me, give me a shout out. Of course, you can do things on Facebook Messenger. My preferred method of communication is either one of two things. Either my email address, bob@bobbennett.com, that's bob@bobbennett.com, or there's a contact form on my website. And those are going to get to me quicker and get more attention than Facebook Messenger. I just don't do as well with it. I don't know what's wrong with me, but... My friend Lori, always doing commercials. That's right. I'm having a sale. He's going crazy, ladies and gentlemen. He's going nuts. The Bob Bennett prices are nuts right now. Anyway. I'll beat anybody's advertised Bob Bennett concert price, or your concert is... No, I'm just kidding. You that's a Southern California... That's a Southern California... That's a Southern California joke. Sorry. All right, let me put this cape on and do this for you. I love the of course, who doesn't, the the doxology, praise God from whom all blessings flow. But that's to a very famous hymn tune called Old 100 or Old 100th. Old 100th. It's known by a few different names, but if there's 100 involved, it's very likely that that's the hymn tune that we're talking about. So I wanted to sing you in closing. Let's see. So I'll leave you with this. Thank you so much for checking in. Thank you, especially those of you who clicked over to the digital chip jar. That's open 24/7. Did I say that out loud? And rest assured that everything you tip is tithed on. Oh God, I'm gonna get a real talking to when this is seen. Oh gosh. You faithful servants of the Lord, sing out his praise with one accord, while serving him with all your might, and keeping vigil through the night. Unto his house lift up your hand, and to the Lord your praises send. May God, who made the earth and sky, bestow his blessings from on high, through north and south and east and west. May God's immortal name be blessed, till everywhere beneath the sun his kingdom comes, his will be done. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. Praise him, all creatures here below. Praise him above, ye heavenly host. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. All right, God bless you. And as I always like to remember and to say, praises be to the healer of my life. Good night.